Today's topic is LEOSA, the Law Enforcement Officers Safety Act. My name is Steve Serbalik. I'm a panel attorney with ASCOPS in Arizona. Police officers in good standing, as well as certain retired police officers, are allowed, under federal law, to carry a concealed firearm in many circumstances. This video will provide you with some basic information about what LEOSA does and does not cover. Today I'll talk about what LEOSA does, some of the limits of LEOSA, and best practices for officers carrying concealed based upon federal law. Note that this is a basic summary. Concealed carry and LEOSA topics can be complicated, and this is not legal advice. So if you have additional questions, ask for help. LEOSA allows officers and retired officers in good standing to carry concealed in most locations, even if local or state law restricts or prohibits concealed carry. Although LEOSA preempts most state and local laws, LEOSA itself has restrictions on who can carry, where, and when. The first thing to consider is whether the person seeking LEOSA protection qualifies. The Act applies to someone who meets all of the following. They're authorized by law to engage in or supervise the prevention, detection, investigation, or prosecution of, or the incarceration of any person for any violation of law, and have statutory powers of arrest. They're authorized by an agency to carry a firearm. They are not the subject of any disciplinary action that could result in suspension or loss of police powers. They meet standards, if any, which require the employee to regularly qualify in the use of a firearm. They are not under the influence of alcohol or drugs. They are not a federal prohibited possessor, and they carry photographic identification from their employer identifying them as an officer. For retirees, all of these apply, including the requirement to have department-issued IDs. And retirees must also have 10 years of service, have separated in good standing, complete an annual firearms qualification, and not be found unqualified by a mental health professional. Even if you're qualified under LEOSA, you are not allowed to violate any state law that permits private owners to prohibit or restrict possession of concealed firearms on their property, or that prohibit or restrict the possession on state or local government property. Additionally, LEOSA does not override the Federal Gun-Free Schools Act, prohibiting carrying a firearm within 1,000 feet of elementary or secondary schools unless licensed to do so by the state. You also have to obey federal laws and policies that restrict the carrying of concealed firearms in certain federal buildings and lands, and, of course, carrying on airplanes. Now that you know some of the limits of LEOSA, let's talk about some best practices. Generally speaking, if you're exercising your rights under LEOSA in a restrictive state, try your best to not draw attention to yourself. Additionally, I believe that the law isn't well settled regarding some issues that surround concealed carry, like magazine capacity limits, so it's a good idea if you're carrying in a restrictive state to limit the size of the magazine or magazines that you bring. So here's the recap. We covered the basic outline of what LEOSA does. It allows qualified individuals to carry concealed, notwithstanding most state and local laws. We also covered the significant limits to LEOSA, what you need to be qualified, and the remaining restrictions based upon property rights and federal law. Next, we talked about best practices. If you're exercising your rights under LEOSA, do it carefully, without drawing attention to yourself, and avoid pushing limits on some areas where the protections of the law aren't well established. Finally, when in doubt, ask for help. LEOSA is complicated, and this video only provides a basic summary and not the full explanation of all parts of the law. So if you have questions, lawyers like me and organizations like ASCOPS are here to help. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button below and subscribe for more law enforcement lessons. I'm Steve Serbalik. Thanks for watching, and stay safe out there.